Congratulations and welcome to the UFC. What's the feeling like of your first UFC fight week so far?
Yeah, thank you, man. I mean, this is massive. Everything came up and about so quickly. They literally phoned me and said, "Listen, you're flying out next week." So, I mean, I took the fight immediately. I was so excited for it. It was. I mean, in the beginning, as soon as the day, I said, "Listen, I'll take the fight." I didn't even know who the opponent was. I didn't even know what was happening. They said short notice. I said, "Well, am I going to need to pack my bags? Like, how many hours do I have? I'm still at the gym. Can I finish out the workout?" They said, "No, you have 2 weeks. Don't just
not that short."
Yeah, it's not that short. So, I mean, obviously, the weight was the only concern up until yesterday, and we are on track. We're exactly where I needed to be, and now it's not a problem anymore at all. And this week's been amazing. I mean, being on Fight Island, it's an historic place. And as soon as they announced it, I was so excited to watch the fights on Fight Island, and here I am competing on it. So it's been amazing. It's great.
Without necessarily going through all the details, I mean, it was kind of rough to get your contract and get over here and get everything done, right? So, I mean, was there ever a point along the way where you thought, I guess I'm just not going to get to the UFC?
Well, I mean, before getting the fight, yeah. But after they said, "Listen, will you step up?" And they said, "Listen, this is the fight's confirmed." And I was like, "Wow, great." And then they sent me all the paperwork that needs to be done. And I was like, "Oh." And I'm not too good with admin to start with. And I was like, "Whoa." Luckily, my girlfriend helped me out a lot, and my family, friends, team. Everybody at the team, everybody just put hands together, and we got everything we needed to as soon as possible. Because, with the whole situation, getting all the forms, working with government institutes, all that, it was insane. But, I mean, we got it on time. And, yeah, I just kept on telling everyone, "Listen, as soon as I get on that flight, I'm just going to sit back and relax. It's almost going to feel like the fight's over, like weight's over." Because, once you get on a flight, everything is sorted. Yeah. And then once I get here, nothing else matters. I mean, I know I'm going to fight. I know I'm good.
So we hear a lot about like the UFC jitters, the Octagon jitters, but you've been a part of some pretty big shows already in your career. So, I mean, obviously this is in front of no fans, so it's totally different. But, I mean, do you feel like you'll still have those nerves that we hear from so often, or because you've been a part of these massive shows, do you feel like it won't be an issue?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge here is going to be the fact that I'm fighting in front of no crowd. The fact that I'm fighting in front of the UFC is nothing but more motivation. It's not going to get me more stressed. When I go out there, I fought in front of thousands of people fighting KSW, 40,000 people, sold out Wembley Arena twice. It's as a main event. So, on my first debut in the international event of KSW, I was the main event in a sold out crowd in Hodge, and it was insane. But I managed that and I won that belt. So fighting for those big moments, they just tend to make me perform even a little bit better, even above my fireplace. So a lot of times when I perform there, I'm like, "Wow, where did you get that from?" So, I mean, fighting in the UFC, I honestly believe I'm going to do something special and put on the best performance of my whole career.
I was going to ask you, I mean, I think for casual fans, maybe this will be the first time they've heard of you, but hardcores, they've seen your career and your kind of your trajectory. So you said do something special. I mean, of course you want to get a win, but do you feel like you want to come in here and show, like, "Hey, I am a contender. I deserve to be considered right away," or is it just kind of slow roll your way to the top? What's the plan?
No, absolutely. I think I've never not finished a fight. In all my 14 wins, I've 14 finishes. And, I mean, my opponent, funny enough, has never been finished before. So, I mean, that makes for an exciting fight right there. I mean, somebody's always got to go in that sense, I guess. And I'm 100% certain it's not going to be mine. I'm going out there to finish that fight in spectacular fashion like I always do. Whether it comes by submission, whether it comes by knockout, whether it comes by TKO, I'm going out there to put on a bonus performance.
You mentioned that he's never been finished. Does that actually add anything to you, or is it the fact you're always going for a finish means that's kind of irrelevant? Or does the fact he's never been finished kind of excite you a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, there's always the accomplishment that does excite me. And that's something that, you can't look past. If something like that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will. But, I'm not going to go out there and just chase a finish. I always do that. And the thing is, I do believe getting a finish, the difference between a finisher and guys that go to decision more often is the fact that, you got an instinct for when a guy is in trouble, when you can really go for it and pushing at the right time and, laying back at the right time. And I do believe I have that instinct down to a T. And as soon as I see a crink in your arm with the smallest thing, if I've hurt you with the smallest thing and you try to keep that poker face, I'll know. And I'll go for that finish straight away. So, that's getting that finish is more about for me personally, not about, finishing him for the first time, because I'm not here to concentrate on him. I'm here concentrating on me. And for me, to solidify why I'm here, to solidify that I do belong here, and to solidify that I'm not here just to go through the ranks and, maybe get to the top 20. Maybe I want to get the top 20 opponent next. And I want to show that I deserve to be there. I don't want to get a handout. I don't want to get a fight because somebody pulled out. I want to get a fight because people want to see me fight there. And I never want to not be on the main card ever again. No, from here it's only up. It's only up. I haven't been in the main on the prelim bout ever since my second fight as a professional. So I'm not planning on doing that ever again.
Talking top 20, it sounds like, do you have a guy in mind? Is there names you want to check off on your way up the rankings, or are you just happy to get the numbers?
Right now, I'm fighting Markus Perez, and that's the name in my mind. And after the fight, I might have somebody that I have in mind.
On the flip side, Israel Adesanya, when he made his debut, he said, like, when I win this fight, I will fight AB. Like, he had a name ready to go right out the gate. Has anyone told you or gotten, like, you should kind of plant seeds early in your career so people may be more interested in the fight when it does happen?
Yeah, 100%. And I do believe that that's something you have to do. I mean, you can't leave it up to people saying, listen, maybe fight, because if you don't know who you want to fight, you have to know who you want to fight. I know who I want to fight. I want to fight a top 20 guy next the guy that is ranked number 20, and Trailblazer, if I'm not mistaken. He's ranked number 20 right now, and he's on quite a streak. So, I mean, for me, this is my first fight. I don't have any grounds on calling guys out and saying I'm going to beat you guys who've made it. Let me prove myself first, and then put the division on notice, and then they'll start noticing who I am, and then I can start calling out guys properly.
Given your experience prior to making UFC, do you think the UFC should view you as more of a veteran, that one win you should get these bigger names right away rather than that slow roll to the top?
Yeah, no. So look, I have a perfect plan rolled out of how I want to see this go. I want to fight this guy, get into the top 20 and stay there, and get my UFC experience. I have a lot of experience outside of the UFC. I want to get my UFC. I'm still a young guy, and fighting in the UFC for the first time, I don't know if I'm downplaying it, but it's a big deal. And I think for any fighter, it's a big deal. And I'm super excited to be here. The nerves are only it's not gonna be more nervous, like I said. It's just gonna be, I'm fighting in the UFC, and that's awesome. And now the whole world can see what I've known for a while. And I have a plan. I want to fight this guy, get into the top 20, and stay there for a couple of fights. I want to stay there and build my career, build my experience in the UFC for a year around the top 20 guys, and just before I step into the top 5. So I want to fight guys that are. I want to build my experience within the top 20 to 10 ranked guys, and then starting calling out the biggest names in my weight division.
So I see you.
Go on, you can go ahead. Yeah.
All you, man.
I know you've been visualizing this moment for like over 10 years now. So just how surreal is it to be here?
I mean, this morning, me and my teammate that's here with me, I was putting on the kit that I got, and I was like, wow. I mean, this is the first time I got UFC kit, not buying it. And I mean, it's a moment that you can't really describe. It's the biggest moment of my life. There's nothing that's ever been bigger to me. I've never experienced anything like this. I honestly think there wasn't enough time when I got the call to sit and manifest it in my mind. The cool thing is that I've been visualizing this moment. I've been envisioning this moment. I knew it was going to come. And even though when it came, I wasn't prepared. Like, you can prepare yourself as much as you want. It's not the same once it happens. And I honestly think after the fight, after this whole thing's done, I put on a massive performance. I know that. I'm going to sit and I'm going to let this all sink in. The whole signing, I think I'll be celebrating my signing after the win. Then I'll be celebrating my win a week after. So just sitting and letting this manifest. After the fight, it was such a rush to get everything done. But I mean, here we are, and I'm really in the best shape of my life, and I'm ready for this opportunity right now. And as soon as this fight's done, that's when I'll sit down and let this all sink in and start thinking about the future.
Cool. Do you have any new visualizations as you've achieved the first one?
Yeah, I mean, right now, this was all part of the stepping. My biggest goal is being the greatest to ever do this sport, I mean, I think if that's not your vision, you're in the wrong sport. You're in the wrong place. You're in a dangerous place. If you don't vision yourself being the greatest to ever do the sport, then what are you doing here? I mean, then you're just a journeyman. I'm not just a journeyman. I'm here to really put on the best fights that people's ever seen.
And lastly, what was your favourite item out of the UFC goodie bag that you got?
My favorite item of the goodie bag, I have to say it was, well, the bag itself was great. And yeah, I like the trousers the most. I think the trousers were awesome. Yeah, so I guess so.
Very cool.
And I knew they said, listen, this is some stuff, it doesn't say UFC so much, so if you like it more than that, I was like, no, listen, I want UFC on every single thing I get.